Vegas, Nevada, and live from the biggest automotive trade show of the year, SEMA, we welcome you to the final round of Global Rallycross on a beautiful fall evening in Las Vegas. The series champion's already been crowned, so tonight in true Vegas style, it's all about going for the win, and a guy who definitely wants the win, last season's champion, Tanner Faust.
Don't count his teammate Brian Deegan out. He has also not yet had a win, and he wants to do it here in Vegas.
And then a guy who has not even seen the podium in 2013, Travis Pastrana, also in the hunt.
And Ken Block, you can see he's got his family with him here. You know he wants a win for them.
So the best drivers are here in Vegas, ready to do battle on this purpose-built track right on the Las Vegas Strip. This is Global Rallycross, and what have we got in store for you tonight? Well, we have a couple of rounds of racing. We start at round 2, round 1 already in the books. 4 heats, where 2 drivers advance out of each heat, and then the others go to a last chance qualifier where the top 2 advance through to a 10-driver, 10-lap final.
Taking a look at the course here in Las Vegas, this is an incredible course built out of a parking lot in just a week, and what they've added here are curbs to discourage the drivers from cutting the course. We saw lots of action on these yesterday. Hit those the wrong way, you're up on 2 wheels or worse. And if you cross all 4 wheels across them, that's a trip to the penalty box.
Well, let's take a look at the Royal Purple starting grid for this first heat tonight. 3 guys on the line: Tanner Faust, Sverre Isaksen, and Steve Arpin.
Great looking good grid. Tanner is such a good starter. It's going to be tough to catch him off this line.
The 10-second count is already on, and they are getting ready to race in Las Vegas. There they go, a good start for Isaksen, but it looks like Faust is going to get to the corner first. And you can see there, Tanner Faust just tickling that curb, Jan. He's really going to try and dig onto the inside line and block that lane for everybody else.
And that's the way you want to do it. This jump here is a great design. You can see they race right across it. Not a lot of consequences for going too fast, so we see racing right through it.
And there you saw the first use of the Joker, which is the shortcut you must negotiate once per race. Both Faust and Isaksen decided to take the Joker on that lap, so it's still Arpin that can take that shortcut once in the rest of this race. He'll have to choose wisely when to take it. He is close behind Sverre Isaksen.
Arpin had some bad luck yesterday, blew a motor, and wasn't even able to qualify in this first heat. So he had to seed last, did a strategic move there, chose the outside line. Very talented driver, always in the hunt, just hasn't quite made it up there yet.
And you can see that Sverre Isaksen smoking those tires as he pushed it around the corner, trying not to let Tanner Faust just run away with this heat.
Smoking tires with so many right-hand turns. There's only one small left before the jump. These guys are putting a lot of heat into those tires, and they're going out after just a few laps. You're going to see them start to slide increasingly now. There goes Sverre around that corner, flat out sideways.
A lot of the guys have been talking about this. The fact that this is predominantly right hands, you're basically just turning right for almost the entire course until that 180-degree left-hand sharp turn before the jump.
That benefits the guys with dirt experience, and all 3 of these guys have it. Rally, Rallycross, and short dirt track racing from Steve Arpin.
And Arpin trying to find a way past Sverre Isaksen. Isaksen is a wily driver, though. Oh, and there it is. The Joker from Arpin allows him to get second place from Sverre Isaksen. Smart move.
Great pass. Can be a little risky to dive into the Joker there because the car on the outside has a better run at the corner and can just retake the pass, but Arpin used it perfectly there. and now he's defending that second place position. 2 drivers will transfer directly to the final from here. Number 3 has to go to the LCQ.
So Sverre Isaacson does not want to be the last chance qualifier guy in this heat, but he's going to have to pull something special out to get past the Canadian Arpin.
That white flag there signals 1 more lap to go.
Oh, and a wide line there from Steve Arpin as he came past over the finish line. Manages to hang on, though. So Tanner Faust has to negotiate the dirt jump one more time. Bring it round. The last big sweeping right-hand turn. And Faust is going to win the first heat of the evening in Vegas. And there, really a great start for Tanner Faust that allowed him to get into the lead there, and then basically just let Isaacson and Arpin battle it out for the rest of the race.
And a great battle it was. We saw a pass on the Joker, Arpin using the Joker to its full effect. You could really see them slowing down, though, as they began to run through the course, and those tires started to go off.
And here you see the start of the race. It looked like Sverre Isaacson and the Subaru really had a great start, but Tanner Faust blocked that inside lane, and he managed to get out into clean air.
And we're seeing Arpin here gaining a little bit on Sverre, and then he ducks into the shortcut and gets a pass. That's the way you do it.
Beautiful move through the Joker there for Steve Arpin, but this Tanner Faust heat win, he is hunting for a win in the final here tonight. Hasn't seen a win at all in 2013. There you see, advance to the final, Faust and Arpin. Isaacson is going to have to try and race his way into the final out of the last chance qualifier. So the onboard with Tanner Faust heading back into the pits, and he will be comfortably in the final. And right now, let's check in with another member of our crew down on the ground with Alyssa Ronig. Alyssa.
Thanks, Tess. Earlier, right after driver introductions, we saw Brian Deegan out walking the track, talking to track officials. He said he had some concern about the muddiness of the jump. He said if he's in the lead going in, coming out of that, he's going to take the Joker, but he was concerned with the slick going into that turn. He said he walked out. It is a bit muddy, but the tarmac is quite dry. And he said at the very least, I know what I'm dealing with. Over to you, Kate.
I'm down here with Ken, and you are actually in lane 1, a place everyone wants to be headed into the heat. What kind of advantages does that give you headed into turn 1?
Yeah, well, that's what we all battle for in qualifying, so we can pick these lane choices. And being on the inside, as long as you get a good jump, you can block everybody else out going into that first corner. So it's just very important getting the good qualifying so you can get the good heat positions and get into the final.
We wish you the best of luck back out there. Now back up to you guys up at the booth.
Thanks, Kate, and definitely Ken Block just hunting for that win, hoping he has a great final here in Vegas tonight. The 2 races left in the chase. Jimmy Johnson has a slim lead over Matt Kenseth. With a 6th title and NASCAR history at stake, who will have what it takes to rise to the top? The chase for the Sprint Cup at Phoenix, presented by Quicken Loans. Coverage begins Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Getting lined up for this second heat of the evening. And again, a lot of drivers just hungry for a win here. In this heat, Brian Deegan is going to try and get out there. Hasn't had a win in this series since 2011 X Games. As the onboard with Deegan, let's check out the rest of our Royal Purple starting grid.
Brian Deegan, of course, we're in car with him there. We also have our championship winner, Thomas Toppy Heikkinen, secured the championship at the last round, but he wants to win here too, absolutely, as does Pat Morrow in his brand new Chevy Sonic, and Patrick Sendell. A little bit of bad luck for him yesterday, blew an engine. It's tough at the end of the season. The equipment is just tired.
And Pat Morrow in that Chevy Sonic has definitely been working hard. He said his guys have been working 24/7 to get that ride prepared and ready for this Las Vegas battle. And Thomas Toppy Heikkinen, unbelievable run here in 2013. That is the series champion, but he's just another guy that wants to hunt for a win tonight. Heat 2 on the line, ready to go in Vegas. Oh, was that a jump start? That's the big question.
It sure looked like it, but I can't tell because I did not see the lights. What we're looking for now is if a car in the front gets a black flag, they will be sent to the penalty box, but we're not sure. And right now, Toppy's in the lead.
So sitting out in front, Thomas Heikkinen, that is Pat Morrow in the Chevy Sonic. Behind him, Brian Deegan in the Ford Fiesta ST, trying to find a way past Morrow. And we'll see if a black flag comes out. A penalty for jumping. So far, we haven't seen that from the flag stand. And that's a tough break for Patrick Sandell.
Indeed it is. You know, Toppy's a good, clean starter, but it did indeed look like there was a bit of a trouble on the start line. Sometimes it's tough if you're on the start line and another car beside you goes. It's hard to tell what's going to happen.
Oh, the red flag has come out. We are going to have a restart of this race. So hopefully we will get some information from race control. Not exactly sure what happened there. Was it a jump or was it perhaps some kind of problem with the lights? Wow. Restart of heat number 2. And we're looking here. Well, we've heard from race control, no one is being charged with a jump start. You can see the lights are green there, but I don't know, Jen, if they were green when they launched.
That didn't look to me like it was, with the two cars starting simultaneously there and staggered like that. Sometimes when there's a jump start, the car beside you starts, you just go. And sometimes you can jump the light that way. But that was not the case with what we saw there. So I'm not sure what happened, but they are going to restart it and get a clean start here the second time.
So on board with Brian Deegan, he's hoping definitely for a better launch this time. He doesn't want to have to fight his way past Pat Morrow and let Toppy Heikkinen just go running away with this. And Sandell, who just basically sat on the start line, didn't really look like there was a problem with launch control or anything. He just didn't start.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Patrick Sandell in this brand new livery. We're used to seeing him in a car that looks a little bit different, but now he's in the Lowe's Cobalt Tools car. Looking good, and I know he wants to put on a good performance. Lots of people from his new sponsor floating around in these packed grandstands. Look at those crowds today.
So ready to go again with the second heat of the evening, and there are the fans come out here. We're also enjoying SEMA, the Special Equipment Market Association event here. Okay, let's watch the light. Lights go out.
The green was such a long delay before the green, and perhaps officials decided, so the lights go out. These guys are instructed, you watch the red, that signals that there's going to be a 3 to 5 second delay. They'll go out for 3 to 5 seconds, and then there's a green. And sometimes it's easy to jump on that red, but it kind of looked like that green just didn't come in soon enough.
Okay, here we are, re-racked and ready to go. Heat number 2. Well, a much better start that time, and Brian Deegan was just leaning all over Thomas Heikkinen, and Sandell is also in the battle there. A three-way battle for this position. Sandell gets past Deegan, and Deegan leads him to the outside.
And Deegan spins, takes his own penalty for leaning a little bit too hard there, lost control of the car and spun into the wall.
So you can guarantee Brian's going to be massively frustrated with that. But he really did lean hard on Patrick Sandell, and I think basically just spun himself out.
Definitely looked like that was his own penalty, and we can see him here. He's actually cutting off the course. He knows his day is over. He's going to the LCQ. We'll see him again, but he's out of this race.
So there's Brian Deegan driving back down the chute. He's going to pull out and protect that equipment. Very frustrated, as you can see from this onboard shot. And that has allowed Toppy Heikkinen to just launch off the front of this heat. Patrick Sandell is behind him. Morrow is currently driving slowly around the course in third place, so we'll see if he also pulls off. Remember, 2 advanced straight through to the final, and as we look at it right now, that should be Heikkinen and Sandell.
And as we see Sandell coming around the course here, Morrow has indeed pulled off. Looks like some sort of mechanical problem. The 2 cars remaining on the course, they do have to continue racing, and they will both advance directly to the final.
So this is good again for Thomas Topi Heikkinen. An absolutely unbelievably dominant performance here in the 2013 Global Rallycross events. If he didn't win, he was on the podium. He's been on every single podium since this series started. And he was touted as being a great young driver when he first came into the series, but I don't think any of us imagined just how amazing he was going to be.
You know, he made an appearance in 2010 at a demonstration event and finished on the podium. He actually won. So I think we saw a little bit. He was just a teenager then. We saw a little bit of his potential, and now, wow, is it ever coming to fruition? And there are stakes in this race. With just 2 cars left on the course, they do both advance to the final, but the car that finishes here this heat in first will line up on the front row, and we are seeing how important it is to get into that first corner first. It's a huge advantage, and it's hard to get there from anywhere but the front row.
And we've already seen it is a real fight to get past someone on this course. You've got to take the risk. You've got to try and cut those curves you talked about earlier. And we have seen cars really far onto 2 wheels, and it almost looks like some stunt driving. And you never want to find yourself upside down in the middle of a rallycross course.
You don't really want to find yourself upside down in any car. There we go, and we see the 2 cars that will advance, Thomas Topi Heikkinen and Patrick Sandell.
So that is heat number 2 in the books. Heikkinen and Sandell advance straight through to the final. Pat Morrow and Brian Deegan, well, they're going to have to fight their way through the last chance qualifier. And really, this was all about, I think, Brian Deegan's aggressive driving.
Yeah, and we can see a little bit of contact there as somebody tries to, Patrick Sandell tries to make a move, and Brian leans on him. I almost wonder if something broke in the front of the car there that spun him out. That was actually a reasonably hard hit there, and he pulled off right after that.
Oh, and looking at that onboard there from Sandell as he gets shoved into the metal on-coat barriers. He comes out of that one okay. Brian Deegan, not so much. And there you see Brian Deegan beating on Sandell, and whether he actually had that race line or just drifting a little too wide or not, well, it doesn't matter. The result's the same. Deegan is through to the last chance qualifier with Pat Morrow. Heikkinen and Sandell safely through into the final. And right now, let's check in with Alyssa Roenick, who's with Brian Deegan.
All right, Brian. So early in that heat, we saw you leaning into Sandell. What happened after that?
You know, I came off the start not so good, and then I was going through turn 1 and second, trying to get right behind the leader, and Sandell went under me and kind of pushed me out in 2 or whatever. So in 3, he went in hot, I went under him, and I hit that curb pretty hard. Might have broke something in the car, I don't know, but because when I accelerated out, I was just trying to keep the car straight, and it drifted all the way out into him, and we came together and ended up breaking my rear A-arm. So, I don't know, it's just how it goes, you know? It's all good.
And as we're back here assessing damage, will we see you out there in the LCQ?
We'll be back. However I got to do it, even if I have to, like, push this car, we'll be in the LCQ.
All right, we'll see you then.
Brian Deegan going to have to work hard to get back in here. Global Rallycross brought to you by Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. And by Lowe's. Never stop improving. You've already seen some great racing here from Las Vegas. We've got plenty more on tap when we return. Be sure not to miss it.
Patrick Sandel. We are here in Las Vegas for the final race of Global Rallycross, and I'm gonna take you through our course. Here we're taking off from the start line. It's one of the longest starting straights we have in the series, up on third gear. That's good for us. Into the first corner, try to keep it clean. Not drift too much, that will be the key through the whole track. Shifting down to second here, try to keep it clean again and not drift out from the corner. It's very important. And the sharpest corner of the track, down on first gear, go tight on the inside, up on second, take third before takeoff. Quite a big jump. Down to second again, go clean, not sliding too much into the corner. Try to keep it clean, up to third, taking fourth and crossing the finish line. That was the GoPro preview of the track here in Las Vegas.
Good ride along there with Patrick Sandel, who's through to the final. But Brian Deegan, you can see his team is absolutely thrashing on that Ford Fiesta, trying to get it ready for the last chance qualifier. Just incredible what those teams can actually achieve. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, national title hopes hang in the balance in the Pac-12 Game of the Year. Third-ranked Oregon takes on number 5 Stanford. College football primetime served by Applebee's later tonight on ESPN. Ready for the third heat here tonight in Las Vegas, and let's check out the Royal Purple starting grid. This should be a fun one.
This is going to be a very exciting heat. I have my eye on Travis Pastrana. His car is not quite as fast as his rivals in this starting line, and yesterday during open round competition, he put it all on the line. He was cutting curbs up on 2 wheels. This is going to be an exciting drive from Travis Pastrana.
And of course, the race director had a little chat with him earlier. Ready to race in Vegas. Travis Pastrana got a great jump at the start there, and he comes out in front of Ken Block.
Amazing start from Travis.
Oh, and you saw there Verdier going on those 2 wheels. Bucky Lassick goes across the middle of the course, but he had nowhere else to go.
He had nowhere else to go, but that is definitely an all 4-wheel off cut. I would not be surprised to see if he makes a trip to the penalty box.
So there, Pastrana and Block both take the joker. They both have to take the shortcut. I think Block was smart because he knows the only way he's going to get to Pastrana to get past him is by taking that shortcut and staying close. But I can't believe what an awesome start that was for Travis Pastrana.
He said he was going to put it all on the line, and certainly he did. I think Block has a little bit more speed in his car, and he'll be pushing Travis very hard here. Travis is going to have to make himself very wide in order for Ken not to get around him.
Now remember, the top 2 advance directly through to the final. The other 2 have to race again in a last chance qualifier. But right now, it looks good for Block and Pastrana. But Bucky Lassick, he really is turning it on too. Driving a great race in third. Oh, Travis Pastrana clips the curb and almost tips it on 2 wheels.
And you can see how unsettling it is when you do clip the curb there, but it didn't help.
Wow!
And there, Block had a great opportunity, just couldn't quite capitalize on it. Travis is indeed very wide. That car's just a little longer than everybody else's. When it gets sideways, it's tough to get around.
Block, he's looking to thread the needle on every one of those turns. He is waiting for Travis Pastrana to make the mistake, and so far, Travis Pastrana is just racing with the luck of the Irish. Fantastic driving in that Dodge Dart.
And these 2 drivers know each other well. They were teammates for many years in rally. And there's Bucky Lassick just being overtaken by Stefan Verdier. We'll see how it goes coming into this corner.
But look how close this battle is. That's 3rd and 4th place, Lassick and Verdier, but they're getting super close to Block and Pastrana. This is where Block is making the move, and he gets it.
Nice clean pass there from Ken Block. And Travis now still looking to hold on to that number 2 transfer spot to the final.
And you see the onboard with Travis there, pulls the handbrake. He's working the gear shift. He really just needs to stay in front of Bucky Lasek to get that transfer spot in the final. Lasek going fast. And now Verdier takes the shortcut. He gets the Joker, comes out in front of Bucky Lasek. The white flag is out. This is the last lap. Can Travis Pastrana hold off that charging white Hyundai Veloster of Stefan Verdier? He's only got a couple of corners left, but Verdier is looking for it.
You can see how much tire smoke. These tires are going off. It's getting very slippery behind the wheel for every one of these guys. Tough to keep it clean when you haven't got any grip.
This is the battle for second place, and it's so close. Verdier is looking for the inside line of Pastrana. I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Gluck first. Travis Pastrana takes second and will advance through to the final. Wow, what a great race for Travis Pastrana. And again, Ken Block in the heat races. The man is just so good in the heats, and somehow in the finals, the wheels have almost literally been falling off.
We've got one more heat race before the real pressure begins.
Here, let's take another look at this start.
So they're going for the launch, and look, the car on the right-hand side. Travis Pastrana's Dodge Dart. Perfect start when those green lights came on, and he cut everybody off and takes that first turn, gets out in front.
You saw Ken there a little bit creeping forward, so he was just a little bit behind the 8-ball, I think, when the light went green.
Oh.
Look, two-wheel action there from Stefan Verdier into Bucky Lasek. Bucky's gone sideways and nowhere else to go but cut through that infield.
And Bucky putting those first tire stripes on the paint for us. And take a look at this onboard shot. Travis Pastrana just bouncing sideways in front of Ken Block. And, well, I guess that's the way to keep a guy behind you.
Take up all the room on the course and nobody can get around you, but he couldn't keep it wide here, and Ken Block makes the pass.
And that was what Ken Block was looking for. Well, there you have it. Block and Pastrana advance through to the final. Verdier and Lasek are going to have to race their way out of that last chance qualifier to join those two. Great racing, though, from Ken Block again in this heat. Well, you want more GRC? And log on to xgames.com right now and check out our year in review photo gallery. Get to know Bryce Menzies and find out what it means for him to be the #1 driver on Travis Pastrana's racing team. That and a whole lot more from the final GRC race in Las Vegas, exclusively on xgames.com. Global Rallycross is brought to you by Lowe's. Never stop improving. And by Ford. Go further. We have one heat race left here in Vegas before we move through into our finals. You've seen a lot of beating banging. I guarantee you there's more left to come. Welcome back, everyone, to Global Rallycross. And they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we don't believe that. So we decided to ask our drivers, what would they do if they won here in Vegas tonight?
Here in Vegas, gambling capital of the world, definitely the goal is to win. Fortunately, that's everyone's goal. Everyone's betting on themselves out here at GRC. And if I won, I would definitely blow all my money probably in the Hard Rock. That's usually where we go. Might be the Palms. Although I do have a newborn now, so might save it and try to get her something cool to remember Vegas by.
My wife has me on a very strict $100 a day gambling limit, and I don't break that. I broke that rule one time, and it had severe consequences.
Last year I won, and the celebration was awesome. I asked the team. We had like 27 guys. Said, won the championship, won the last event. Whatever you guys want to do tonight, it's on me. We got these huge limos. And, you know, bunch of Swedish guys. I was like, seriously, Vegas, you got anything you want? What are we doing tonight? He said, we're going to Hooters. And 27 guys stormed Hooters like you've never seen before.
I feel so sorry for those Hooters waitresses when 27 Global Rallycross guys show up in your restaurant. But it's certainly looking like the guys are having fun. And one guy that I know has to be smiling right now is Travis Pastrana, already through to the final, and he's down with Alyssa.
Yeah, Tess, the 199 car struggled yesterday. They had to swap out an engine. Clearly got something right with the setup. Travis, talk about that start.
Oh, no, it was awesome, man. They gave me this Discount Tire Dodge Start team. These guys have been working their butts off. Man, it sucks that a second has been a win this year for us, but I mean, you know, I feel good. I feel like we got something for the final. You know, we're not as quick as we've been. This hadn't been a great year for us, but you know what? We got to end it strong. Looking forward to get out there. These guys are working their butts off. We're going to make some adjustments to the final and hopefully have some for them.
All right, we'll see you in the final.
Well, we know all of these teams work incredibly hard to keep these cars on the track, and we'll see what Travis can do in the final. Let's take a look at the Royal Purple starting grid for the fourth and final heat race. And this should be interesting. Scott Speed won the last stop in Charlotte, and he did look pretty good out there earlier.
Very fast, number 2 in the seating session. Enjoying this surface here. I think the consistent surface is what he likes, and really the only dirt we have is over the jump. And he was very quick. Looking for him to do some good things here. But the great battle in this heat is going to be between Reese Millen and Nelson Piquet Jr. Those guys had a great fight yesterday, and I can't wait to see it again.
So 2 will transfer straight through to the final. The other 2, well, they have to fight into the last chance qualifier. Heat number 4 on the line. Get ready. They're about to launch again here in Las Vegas. Seen as even a start as that in a long time. Looks like Speed is going to come out in front. Well, Bryce Menzies had to slam on the brakes there.
Bryce was trying to come around the outside and just ran out of room. Another couple of feet, he might have been able to do it.
Oh, that was a little wild and wide driving there from Reese Millen, and tags the barriers on the outside. Look at Bryce Menzies go, though.
Dodge Darts are performing very well today, but as expected, Scott Speed is out front, and now it's up to him to hold it there.
And a big surprise there. The first time we've seen the leaders in the race not take the shortcut. Oh, problems for Reese Millen in that Hyundai Veloster. He's slowing down. Looks like he'll be going through to the last chance qualifier. Speed, though, holding off the charge of Menzies, and then Piquet is back in 3rd place.
Looks like when Millen tagged the wall, some damage to the left rear of his car. He'll go back and get that fixed to come back for the last chance qualifier. But look at this battle, number 1 and 2. Scott Speed out front. Menzies putting on a pretty good chase.
So Menzies, Travis Pastrana's teammate, he had a little bit of a rough go of it in the seating in earlier heats. But now he's in that 2nd place transfer position, just needs to hold off Nelson Piquet Jr. Piquet Jr., though, has not taken the shortcut Joker lap yet. So he just needs to try and get within striking distance of Bryce Menzies' Dodge Dart, and maybe he can thread it through right at the end of this race.
And that is the strategy. You want to get nice and close and then try and make a pass there. But it just gets harder. We're seeing already lap 4. Their tires are going off and they're starting to slide more and more. It's the same for everybody, but it's just a totally different track by lap 4, lap 5.
Scott Speed, a master on asphalt, had a Formula 1 career, NASCAR career. He knows how to drive on this material. Bryce Menzies, on the other hand, he's a master in the dirt, and he's going to try and win the Baja 1000 this month. He's already won the 500. He said he's hungry for the Baja 1000 win, so hopefully Bryce Menzies can work his way through this and stay in that second position and get straight through the final to race with his boss, Travis Pastrana.
And for Menzies, the stakes are high. He has not been to a final all season long. All he has to do is cross the line in second place, and he'll line up in the second row.
Well, so far he's looking good. Scott Speed looks comfortable. PK is making a bit of a charge, but I think it's too little too late. He's already taken the shortcut Joker lap. And here we go. Scott Speed brings it around. He will win the heat. And Bryce Menzies is going to make it. He's going through to his first final this season. And Travis Pastrana happy. Both of the Pastrana Racing teammates would be in that final. So Scott Speed won our last event in Charlotte. And an even start here, but you can see Speed just manages to nose ahead, and he moves across to make the block on everybody.
And you can see Bryce Menzies trying to get there, finally hit the brakes and slot it into the number 2 position.
And then Rhys Millen, the unfortunate drive wide there, just going in a little too hard. He tags the barrier, and oh, you can see right there that left rear is just gone. That ends his race, and the Rhys Millen Racing team going to be working really hard to get that ready. But Scott Speed, he won the first race of the season, the X Games in Brazil. He won our last race in Charlotte. So he is looking good for the final 2. Speed and Menzies advance. PK Jr. and Millen, they're going through to the last chance qualifier. When we come back, it will be the last chance qualifier. 2 spots remain open for the final. Who will make it in Vegas? Welcome back, everyone, to Global Rallycross here from the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Some fantastic racing already seen here tonight under these beautiful Las Vegas night skies. Well, here's a close-up look at X Games champion, NASCAR Nationwide Series driver, and new father, Travis Pastrana.
My name is Travis Pastrana. I drive the number 199 Red Bull Discount Tire Dodge Dart. First diaper change was, you know, everyone says when it's yours it's different, and they're totally right, because I have never even thought about changing a diaper or even been close or could even imagine even holding a child. And when Addie came out, I was just like, this is natural. So I felt pretty good and definitely really proud to be a parent and join that club. Yeah. If she's passionate about whatever it is, whether it's racing, whether it's skateboarding, motocross, science, art, whatever, I'm happy. So I'm going to show her how passionate these races are, how passionate all my friends, all the mechanics, the people in these industries are, and hopefully she'll look up to that, and you know, one day she'll want to be passionate about whatever she does.
Travis Pastrana, he is not having a great weekend.
This season's been my worst all the way across the board of my entire life, and you know, it's frustrating. We got a team that's working really hard. We have these discount tire Dodge Darts that are really good cars. They work awesome over the jumps. They work awesome when the other cars are uneasy. Our cars really grip the ground, but the tracks have been a lot flatter this year, so we've lost a little bit of our advantage, and you know, we had to go back to the drawing board. Las Vegas, let's see. Plan is to go out, be the fastest in qualifying, win the heat, and then win the main. I mean, it's a pretty simple strategy, really. I think it's everyone else's, too.
Travis Pastrana really hoping for something special tonight. Look at this. Started racing Rallycross in 2010. He had his first win at Loudon, New Hampshire last year, but his best X Games Rallycross finish only 5th. And he's got 17 total X Games medals from 5 different disciplines. And now he's down with Alyssa Ronig.
Thanks, Tess. Yeah, Travis, this is the last race for the Dodge team. Your contract is up. Tell us what 2014, I know this answer might change in a week, but right now, what is your plan for next year?
Well, I think you guys have retired me so many times, man. I'm just going out having a good time, and this is awesome. This is the first time I have a teammate in the final. I'm excited. We're going to go out and put this Red Bull Discount Tire Dodge Dart, both of our darts, up as far as we can. But, you know, honestly, the NASCAR, it's been fun, it's been exciting, but I need to get some results. We have 2 more races to do that. We got this is my last race in this Dodge Dart. It's been a rough season. We have struggled, but these guys never gave up, and I'm ready to do the best we can. But next year, I mean, Lindsay wants to skate a lot more. You know, we've got a little girl, Addie, and it's probably going to be a little more Nitro Circus stuff. Nitro Circus Live's coming to the U.S., so that's going to be a lot of fun, too.
So is there a chance we'll see you back on the Nitro Circus Tour in 2014?
There's always a chance. Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, Tess, back up to you.
Thanks, Alyssa. And I got to tell you, Jen, I know Travis absolutely loves all of that Nitro Circus tomfoolery and just doing crazy things on his motorcycle. We've seen him do that for many, many years, but such a great driver and had a great race there to get him into the final.
He's got to be encouraged by that performance, absolutely, at this last stop of the season. It's so important here at SEMA. The entire industry is here, friends and family and everybody you know, and you want to get that win here.
And speaking of the industry, they had a very exciting announcement here this week. The big announcement, Global Rallycross has a new title sponsor, a multi-year deal with Red Bull as the series title sponsor, and that is going to be awesome for the future of Global Rallycross.
And then on Wednesday, Napa Chassis announced their sponsorship and technical partnership with Tanner Faust Racing. The partnership extends through 2014.
And then for this race, Lowe's Cobalt Tools came on board for the race, and I know everybody was excited to welcome them aboard too. Just awesome. And I have to say, for Global Rallycross to get these new sponsors in, and of course, that big announcement with the Napa Chassis deal with Tanner Faust Racing, well, Kate Osborne is caught up with Tanner Faust. Kate.
A very busy week for Tanner on and off the track. Tell us a little bit about the Napa Chassis deal and what that really entails for you.
Well, Napa Chassis is a company that I've been really excited to learn more and more about, but it's homegrown suspension and steering parts that we're actually going to be able to utilize an amazing testing facility and development to build stronger parts for our Rallycross cars. But also it represents a brand that's pretty iconic to American motorsports. So it's really exciting to have you know, any Napa brand involved in Global Rallycross. So I'm really happy about it.
And I'm sure they're very happy to see how well you have done. And you have a lot of pressure now vying for second place. Has that been alleviated knowing that Deegan, who you're vying with, is now in the LCQ?
Well, I've been in the LCQ. I was in the LCQ, I think, for the first time at the last event, and it's not a fun place to be, I can tell you that, because, I mean, it's just a pile of guys that know it's do or die, and that's, you know, Deegan's good in those situations, so he could pull it off. Last year, he and I were also battling for first in the championship, which was maybe a little bit better, but, and he pulled off an amazing, nearly past the whole field on the outside, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that, but this year I'm ready for it.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck here in the final. Back to you, Tess, up in the booth.
Thanks very much, Kate. And with 2 races left in the chase, Jimmy Johnson has a slim lead over Matt Kansas. With a 6th title and NASCAR history at stake, who will have what it takes to rise to the top? The chase for the Sprint Cup at Phoenix, presented by Quicken Loans. Coverage begins Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Global Rallycross is brought to you by Puma, the official apparel and footwear supplier for Global Rallycross. And by Lowe's. Never stop improving. When we come back to Las Vegas, it will be the last chance qualifier. 2 spots remaining into the final. Who can fight their way through? A glorious night on the Las Vegas Strip from our camera position high atop Mandalay Bay. We are racing global rallycross style here on the Strip in Vegas. Friday night on ESPN, college basketball is back in prime time with the Armed Forces Classic from South Korea. It's Big East versus Pac-12 as Georgetown takes on number 19 Oregon. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, also live on Watch ESPN. Last chance qualifier is on the line, and you can see them all lined up trying to get the last 2 spots for the final. Brian Deegan is in that qualifier, and for an update on Brian, let's go down to Alyssa Roenig.
Thanks, Tess. Yeah, with this track, tire conservation has been a big topic. Remember, every driver has the same number of tires. Those in the LCQ tend to be at a bit of a disadvantage. So remember that Brian crashed out in the first lap of that restart, so he has a few more laps on these tires and a full set saved for the final.
Wow, thanks, Alyssa. So smart to save them, but let's see how he does. Let's take a look at the Royal Purple starting grid for the last chance qualifier, Jan.
7 cars in this LCQ. Sverre Isaacson, Stefan Verdi, Nelson Piquet Jr., Pat Morrow.
And they're on the front row and the back row. Bucky Lasek, Reese Millen, and Brian Deegan, 3 great racers who will have a big fight to try and get through. Remember, everyone, 2 spots in the final are available, and there are 7 cars in the race. 5 guys are going home unhappy.
This grid is pretty wide. There is room to try and make a move from the back row, but we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen this many cars on the grid. Look for all sorts of action when these lights go green.
The 30-second board is up and the countdown is on. Brian Deegan is going to have a fight on his hands to get through to the front and try and get through to the final. Great job, though, from that Olsberg team putting that car back together. Same thing with Reese Millen Racing. Here we go, last chance qualifier, Global Rallycross from Vegas. Oh, and Bucky Lasek didn't get to launch. Brian Deegan, he got through the outside and then was tagged into the tire wall. The problem there for Sverre Isaacson, all kinds of chaos, and Nelson Piquet Jr. runs through to the front and almost tips the car. Wow!
Looks like this one's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes. Reese Millen cutting into the shortcut lap and coming out in front. He's going to try and stay there.
Huge surprise there that Nelson Piquet Jr. did not take the Joker shortcut. Reese Millen, though, we said he's a smart driver. He showed his smart driving right there, ducked under, took the lead, and that is great for Reese Millen. Sverre Isaacson there looking at the back of Nelson Piquet's Evo. He's trying to find a way through with that Subaru. So Piquet is going to have a fight on his hands to hang on to second place. Only 2 drivers advance through. So far, it's looking great for Reese Millen, but oh, Brian Deegan in a dangerous spot there, backing out from the tire wall.
He is not in a good spot. Tough to get around him. A little bit of contact there between Sverre Isaacson and Nelson Piquet Jr. as Isaacson makes a move.
Oh, and it looks like he's got it. He drove hard into that right-hander, and he gets the position for the 180 left-hand hairpin, but Piquet Jr. now takes that shortcut. May have been a smart move that he didn't take it right off the start.
Great move in there. Piquet Jr.'s fighting hard. He has not yet seen a final in this sport.
Oh, and you can see Brian Deegan's car is now out of the way. Isaacson goes through. He's on 2 wheels. Oh, and he gets punched sideways by Nelson Piquet Jr.
Oh, and a big spin there.
That was a hard bang there for Sverre Isaacson. You saw the door blow open. Man, he looked so good in that second place, but Piquet Jr. just kept fighting back. Nelson Piquet Jr. has not been to a global rallycross final, so this could be great for him. Reese Millen trying to hang on to that position. PK Jr. in second place. And at the checker, that's the way it will work out. So a disaster for Brian Deegan and for Sverre Isaksson. And a great race for Reese Millen and Nelson Piquet Jr.
So exciting. You even heard a little bit of commotion up here. We had a couple drivers behind us shouting and screaming as they watched this. Look at this start. Brian Deegan spun out right in the first corner. Sverre Isaksson battling with Nelson Piquet Jr. Everybody's sideways, everybody's backwards. That's what happens when you put this many cars on the course. Very tough to get through those first couple of corners clean.
And you can see this. Brian Deegan was so fast going into that corner, but unfortunately that one little tag on Brian Deegan's car, well, that's what drove him into the tire wall. Then he backed out onto the racing line and almost gets clipped by Reese Millen. That was close. And oh, look at that. Nelson Piquet Jr. lucky to miss him.
And we see here some of the banging between Nelson Piquet Jr. and the car in the back there, that Evo with this against the Subaru. Little bit of contact. Race officials have decided that there will be no action taken against Piquet Jr., that was fair racing, but he hit the wall.
Sverre Isaksson was trying to keep it driving straight. He couldn't manage it. Oh, and there you see Sverre Isaksson doesn't look very happy at all. But they are saying that Nelson Piquet, no action on him. He was pinched. So that is tough. A tough breaks for Sverre Isaksson because he fought so well.
Let's take a look at this again. Obviously, Sverre in the front car here disputes what the officials have ruled, that Piquet Jr. is not at fault. A little bit of contact. They're saying he had nowhere else to go.
And to be fair, Nelson Piquet Jr. is going straight. He is driving on his racing line, and Sverre Isaksson is just a little bit sideways at that point, driving in to Nelson Piquet's race line. Wow, and that's a tough hit. There again, you saw the Subaru drift across, and unfortunately, there was absolutely no way that Nelson Piquet Jr. could have got out of the way.
Yeah, there was no way he could have avoided that contact there. He was committed to his line and couldn't have taken another line.
But good news for Reese Millen Racing. They got that broken car back into the race, and Millen is through to the final. You can see the almost panic as they now try to get that Hyundai Veloster prepared and ready for Reese to race in the final. Well, that was about as crazy an LCQ as you can expect, and ooh, that is Sverre Isaksson up in race control, and I'm sure he's having a few words. So, doesn't look very happy at all.
And race officials are asking for the cameras to move as we review. Looks like he's going to review that incident and plead his case.
And, you know, from his perspective, he probably felt like he was racing fairly, but from what we were looking at, we could see that Nelson Piquet was driving his Evo straight, had a race line already claimed, and I mean, even if he'd slammed the brakes at that point, he still would have tagged Isaksson.
There was definitely nowhere else for him to go. I guess the question is, what, in the moments leading up to that, was there a little bit of foul play?
So there we go. Sverre Isaksson trying to plead his case, but right now, through from the LCQ, Reese Millen and Nelson Piquet Jr. are through to the final. Welcome back, everybody, to Global Rallycross from the Strip in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. What a crazy race we just had in our last chance qualifier. But the last two drivers are now through to our final. With 2 races left in the chase, Jimmy Johnson has a slim lead over Matt Kenseth. With a 6th title and NASCAR history at stake, who will have what it takes to rise to the top? The chase for the Sprint Cup at Phoenix, presented by Quicken Loans. Coverage begins Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Earlier today, we had our GRC Lights final, and this has been phenomenal racing all season long. And it's a feeder series for the GRC Supercar, but that doesn't mean that there's any less of a battle every time these guys get out on the track. Lights final earlier today, and this is how we called it.
That's what I love about this series. It's a development series. These cars are 310 horsepower. They're all identical. Same power, same steering, same transmission. So it's all about the driving, and we see these great battles.
And in this left-hand hairpin, that is where Sebastian Eriksson is really leaning on Farron, trying to get through, but Farron just isn't letting up at all, and he really has his sights set on Veman. Just got word from race control, number 37, Sebastian Eriksson has a warning for rough driving, so race control has noticed he's really pushing a little too hard here as they come into the left-hander again. Oh, he backed off a little that time.
I'm watching these two cars, these two red cars battle for second and third here. You're seeing the real difference in styles. We have our new driver, Farron, comes from a karting background, more technical tarmac background, whereas Eriksson comes from Rallycross, a little bit more rough and tumble, and that's definitely what we're seeing them express in their driving styles today.
More than halfway through this GRC Lights race, Joni Veman putting a little bit of distance there on Farron and Sebastian Eriksson, but Eriksson's still trying to find a way past, and really seems to favor that one left-hand turn that we've got on the course. Big question here, Jen. You think there's enough time left for Farron to catch up with Veman? The gap seems to be pretty even.
To me, it looks like that gap's growing a little bit, and that's what happens when you have two cars battling door to door. They're slowing each other down every time someone tries to make a move there. They both lose a little bit of pace. That's why getting through that first corner first is so critical and such a huge advantage. It's going to be very tough for them to close that gap.
And obviously a big problem there for Farron at the start. He did not get the start he wanted. He had the perfect start position in the middle of that front row. And he's going to have to do some work now to catch up to Joni Veman. And Veman has won every single stop in GRC Lights in 2013.
With that tough start, it's all the more impressive that Farron is in second place. He did start a little slow off the line. The first time he drove that car was just 2 weeks ago, and look at this battle. Mitch
Wow, that was some close racing with Kevin Eriksson and young Mitchell DeYoung, the 16-year-old driver there. And it worked, though, for Kevin Eriksson. He found his way through.
Two young drivers, both in their teams, great potential, and we're looking at the future of Rallycross right here. Wouldn't be surprised to see them stepping up into supercars, at least a few of these drivers next year.
And the move again, Sebastian Eriksson trying to work his way through. Finally, it has robbed him of the front of his car. He's been banging on the back of Farron's car so often. But this guy, center of your picture, Joni Veman, takes the white flag. Will it be a clean sweep for the season for the young Finnish driver? Defending the inside line from Sebastian Eriksson, but as you said, Jen, all of this battling for second place has allowed Veman to pull ahead, and he's going to take the checkered flag. It is a clean sweep for Joni Veman in 2013. let's go back to the start. And again, this is where it went wrong for Farron.
Yoni Veman, you can see with the blue headlights coming out in front. And that is the position he wanted to be in. Just held it there in front for this entire race.
So Yoni Veman gets through to the front there and never looked back. But this was the story of the race, the battle between Sebastian Eriksson and Eric Farron. And Farron managed to hang on to that second place for the whole race. And there it is. Yoni Veman sweeps the series for GRC Lights in 2013. Farron gets himself second place. Eriksson in third. Another great GRC Lights final to round out the season. Such fantastic racing in the lights because all of those cars are so evenly matched, all about the drivers. Great championship for Yoni Veman. While we were gone, we got some breaking news. You saw Sverre Isaksson talking to race control earlier. His case was upheld. Nelson Piquet Jr. has been disqualified. Isaksson is going to go through to the final. And Jen, a little bit of a surprise from our perspective.
Let's take another look at what happened out there on the course. They're bumping doors. You can see there the hit that they were questioning. Nelson Piquet Jr. contending he had nowhere else to go. Isaksson saying he could have avoided the hit.
And I guess the question was, could Piquet Jr. have hit the brakes maybe a little bit earlier and prevented T-boning Sverre right into that fence? Well, Sverre Isaksson has to be happy because he's in the final. And for more on Sverre, let's check in with Alyssa Roenick.
Yeah, Tess, you saw right after he got out of the car a very emotional response from him that ended with Isaksson up in race control. They watched that turn several times, decided that he was in the right. However, he will be assessed what I was told, a very large penalty, a fine for his response to the incident. Back to Tess.
Well, thanks for that, Alyssa. You know, Sverre, I think he got a little bit mad, which was quite fair, right?
It's tough in Rallycross. They walk a pretty fine line. A little bit of contact is acceptable. How much is too much? And I think we just watched them cross that line.
Well, and then Nelson Piquet Jr., he is out of the final now, and Kate Osborne's caught up with him. Kate.
Yeah, Nelson, you are climbing out of your car right now. What exactly is going on from your perspective at this point in time?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm upset. I don't understand what happened. I mean, we spent after 15 minutes fixing the car for the final. Nobody told us anything until we got to the grid. I mean, they can blame us all about aggressive driving, but it was last run. Everybody was hitting each other. I wasn't the only one that did it, so I don't know in what discretion there or what level means it's not allowed or not. But it's a shame. I mean, I think our car's been getting better and race by race, and we finally should have made the final. And so I guess we'll see what happens now.
All right, Nelson, thank you for your time here. Back to you, Tess.
Huge disappointment for Piquet. He is not going to be in the final. Sverre Isaksson, on the other hand, he is going to be in. It will be a blistering final from Las Vegas. Everyone is going for the win. They're going all in Vegas when we return. Global Rallycross is brought to you by Lowe's. Never stop improving. And by GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. Well, let's take a look at our Puma race summary for Las Vegas so far tonight. Woo! Have we had some racing in heat number 1? Faust takes the lead.
But here we see Steve Arpin making best use of the Joker to get a pass and wind up himself in the final.
Faust and Arpin advances straight through. And heat number 2. Well, that was a little bit of a crunch for Brian Deegan, who had to shuffle himself right into the last chance qualifier. Thomas Toppy Heikkinen, our series champion, though, advances through to the final.
And a great start here for Travis Pastrana, taking the whole shot in his Dodge Dart, but can't fend off Ken Block, who takes the win in that heat.
Heat number 4. Whoa, this was a great one for Scott Speed, and you saw Reese Millen tagging the outside. His car's damaged. He would have to go through the LCQ. And in that LCQ, Brian Deegan hard driving on the outside, and he's punted into the tires.
And two-wheeling there with Nelson Piquet Jr. and contact between Nelson Piquet Jr. and Sverre Isaksson. You can see spinning out there. Reese Millen takes it. Controversy. But Sverre Isaksson, not Nelson Piquet Jr., winds up in the LCQ. Nelson Piquet Jr. disqualified.
So that sets up the epic finale here for Global Rallycross in Las Vegas. And let's take a look at our Royal Purple starting grid for the last GRC of 2013. That is an amazing front line.
Just incredible. Any one of those drivers could win it. Toppy Heikkinen has so many wins this season. He wants one more. And Scott Speed has 2 wins. Ken Block and Tanner Faust, you know they're both looking for their first wins.
Faust and Block are hungry for a win, Jen. They just want it so badly. On the back row there, Pastrana and Menzies, the 2 teammates right next to each other, maybe playing a little team orders perhaps.
And we certainly saw how hot Sverre Isaksson was just moments ago when he was up in the booth behind us. You know he wants a win, as does Reese Millen.
This is it. We said they're going all in. All the chips are on the table tonight in Vegas. This is the Global Rallycross finale, the Supercar Final. Had a huge jump there at the start. Are they going to get around the first corner clean? That was amazing. Toppy Heikkinen got popped up in the air. Sverre Isaksson is sideways. All kinds of chaos and carnage.
And they're stringing out into a foul. Tanner Faust in the lead with Ken Block hot on his tail.
Well, and I got to say, amazing. Ken Block actually got through the first corner, so this bodes well for Block. See some battling there. Sverre Isaksson, he was leading all over. Was that Arpin? And it looks like the car is badly damaged.
That was a big spin he took on his way into this. He's paddled his way back. It looks like he's in 5th right now. There's Ken Block over the jump behind Tanner Faust. I gotta say, the crowd here is standing room only and on their feet, screaming as these cars go by.
Literally everybody is standing up. Faust, Block, and then Pastrana in 3rd place. The rest of the field, well, it just looks like all of those cars are somehow mashed up. You can see Reese Millen's Hyundai Veloster is parked there. Look at this. It looks like a demolition derby going on.
But a lot of cars got through that first corner clean.
Huge news coming from race control. Tanner Faust jumped the start. He will be penalized, and that is a stop-and-go penalty for Faust.
That's going to be very tough for him to recover from that. He has a substantial lead right now, but I don't think it'll be enough to overcome a stop-and-go. We'll see. He should pull in here. He'll be forced to come to a complete stop in the penalty box and then allowed to go.
Will he get out in front of Pastrana? That's the big question. No, Pastrana, you can see from the onboard, gets in front of Tanner Faust, and Ken Block, unbelievably, is in the lead.
Will this finally be the end of a bad luck streak for Ken Block? holding it out front there while we see Pastrana and Faust battling for second and third.
And this will be a very hot under the collar Tanner Faust. But Travis Pastrana, he's got to be happy. He's sitting there in second place. Oh, and Tanner Faust trying to find a way through.
These are the only 3 drivers to have competed in every single X Games rally car racing event, and there they are, old rivals.
And that mistake by Travis Pastrana, you saw how fast Faust capitalized on it and went through. And now Heikkinen is working on the back of Pastrana, so if Pastrana wants to be in that podium, he's going to have to work it hard.
And remember, Heikkinen is trying to preserve a podium streak. He has not finished an event off the podium, and he does not want this to be his first one.
Ken Block in the lead. Tanner Faust is charging, trying to catch him. Block has never won a global rallycross event, and he is hungry for it.
And that was the battle last season as well. We saw Ken Block in the lead, then he caught on fire, and Tanner made a pass. So we'll see what happens this year in Vegas.
Ken Block made the most of that with the hashtag Hanes Care campaign, but he cares tonight about winning. Oh! Heikkinen pushes Pastrana sideways, and somehow Pastrana manages to hang on to it.
Pastrana is driving the wheels off of that car. Look at him, challenge from Sandell there. Manages to fend him off and make it through.
Problem for Sandell, he has gone off the course, so Pastrana now trying to charge and chase down Topi Heikkinen, but still Ken Block's Ford Fiesta ST is in the lead here in Vegas. Tanner Faust charging hard though, trying to catch up with him. There's still a couple of laps left.
That tap there didn't look so friendly, and it sounds like Heikkinen is now going to go into the penalty box for rough driving for that contact with Pastrana.
So that is going to allow Travis Pastrana a chance to catch that third place back. So Thomas Heikkinen, he has to stop on this next lap around. So Pastrana in a comfortable position to take third place, and that would ruin Thomas Heikkinen's perfect podium record in 2013. But still, Ken Block, he's so far being crashed out of every final, but not tonight. He looks great as he's trying to wind this one down. How nervous does he feel behind the wheel right now, Jen?
When you get that close to the end of a race and you're in the lead, it's all about just focusing on that checkered flag. That's the white flag, one more lap to go. All he has to do is keep it clean, and he's got his first win of the season, his first rallycross win.
Ken Block, the head hoonigan. His Gymkhana 6 drops next week, November 11th, Monday. You will see Gymkhana 6. And Ken Block will be an incredibly happy man if he can just hold off the charge of Tanner Faust, who is getting close, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And it's not! Ken Block wins in Vegas his first global rallycross win. And we're looking to see if Pastrana can take third place. And it is! Pastrana knocks Topi Heikkinen off the podium. Block, Faust, Pastrana take Vegas.
What incredible racing between 3 favorite drivers who've been here in this sport since the beginning. A very first rallycross win for Ken Block under these great fireworks on this strip in Las Vegas.
Travis Pastrana is doing the donuts. He's ecstatic that he had such a great race. That car, you know, they've been challenged. He said the car is longer, heavier. Oh, is that Arpin having a little discussion with Sverre Isaacson? Well, the normally mild-mannered Canadian is certainly not mild-mannered there. Ken Block, though, this man is used to smoking tires, and he is lighted up tonight, as is Faust and Pastrana. There's all kinds of chaos going on Las Vegas track.
A lot of donuts, fire coming off the finish, some fire effects, people on their feet screaming as we watch a whole bunch of donuts.
And a very sad Patrick Sandell. Oh, Travis Pastrana
and
got a
that's the end of the donuts when you hit the wall.
The 199 takes a podium finally tonight. Oh, man. Well, let's go back to the start here, Jen.
Let's take a look at Tanner Faust. He gets out front, but it looks like maybe just a little bit too soon. He's a strong starter, but not that strong. He would be sent to the penalty box later on for a jump start.
And really surprising that everybody got through on that first corner. Take a look at this onboard shot, and Faust was way out in front at that point.
This track's pretty wide, so these cars, there was some bumping and there was some contact, but a lot of cars got through this first corner and were able to race right through to the end.
So start speed on sideways there. You can see Faust in the lead, and then Heikkinen here from the onboard shot just getting punted by speed to the outside and lucky to stay on 4 wheels. And here is the stop and go penalty for Faust, which allowed Ken Block to go through. And that was great for Block. He didn't have to try and fight his way past Tanner Faust.
And look at this battle. Travis Pastrana, Tanner Faust. Travis makes a bit of a mistake up on 2 wheels and allows Tanner to get by.
And then Topi Heikkinen coming up on Pastrana and then bumps into him. He goes straight on that corner, which was not a fair line. So assess the penalty, which he took right at the end. But Ken Block races through to the checkered flag. Finally, he gets a win in Global Rallycross.
Travis Pastrana in 3rd place. Tosses his bumper to an adoring crowd.
Thanks for coming to the race. You wanted a hat? No, how about a piece of the car? So there's Pastrana. He's finally on the podium, getting congratulated by GRC's Colin Dine. And Ken Block, he finally gets the monkey off his back and takes the win. Oh, and what a way to do it. Ken Block, the winner, and Alyssa Roning has caught up with him.
All right, Ken, it's almost unbelievable. First win for you in Global Rallycross. What were you thinking in the lead when you saw the white flag?
I was really stoked. You know, Tanner got up to a crazy jump, and I thought, oh man, how did I miss that jump? And then he pulled off. You know, I thought it was going to be a really good tight race all the way to the end, and then he pulled off in the penalty box. I'm like, oh, I'm in the lead. This is awesome. So, I mean, my team works incredibly hard. I can't thank them enough. All my sponsors, Monster, Ford, Pirelli, GoPro, everybody, really appreciate all the support. And yeah, I'm stoked to finally have my first win. We've worked so hard this year, qualified so high, won it almost every heat, but the win was what was eluding me. So finally, stoked to have this.
Yeah, Ken, it's a long time coming. Congratulations. Kate, who you got?
I have Tanner down here, and that, after all those hurdles you had right then and there, you still finished on the podium. How do you feel right now, ending the season with that second?
It was a perfect weekend up to that point. I think I timed the light perfect, so I'm going to look at the replay. But either way, walking away 2nd place after a stop and start, I'm stoked. And with Brian being out, it kind of takes the question of where you can finish in the championship out. So 2nd place in the championship after Toppy had an amazing year, so you have to hats off to him. But after all of that, all season, to still get 2nd place in the championship, yeah!
That's right. Now, congratulations there. And not only that, we had Travis Pastrana, who also had one amazing event out there today. How are you feeling right now with such an incredible atmosphere here in Vegas?
Oh, Vegas is so fun. I mean, this Dodge Dart, I tell you what, the team got that thing firing off the lines. It was awesome. You know, it's definitely a frustrating year, but man, I think, you know, having both of our cars in the final, you know, Bryce did really well, and, you know, to come out here and finish that with the 3rd place, I mean, 3rd is not where I like to be, but I tell you what, it has been a good endpoint to a great year, and I can't wait for the future.
Well, there you go. I was about to say, are we going to be able to see you next year with Global Rallycross?
I'll definitely make some appearances. I still got to figure out what's going on with NASCAR. We're heading to Phoenix right now to do some nationwide stuff. But you know, I tell you what, this Red Bull Discount Tire Dodge Dart crew is awesome, and they work so hard. It's just you know, it's just a little bit bigger, so a little bit harder to mobile around. But I tell you what, it's such a great car. It has so much power, and really excited to be out there with that thing.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you. Congratulations for your podium finish here, ending out the 2013 season. Back to you, Tess.
Thanks, Kate. There you have the results. Finally, a win for Ken Block. Tanner Faust gets 2nd tonight, but also 2nd in the series. And big props, we have to say. 4th place tonight, but Thomas Heikkinen, the champion of the series, Jen.
First event not to finish on the podium for Thomas Heikkinen, but he's got a championship behind him. You know, it's been a crazy, incredible year. 9 incredible races around the world, a new champion crowned, and the next generation of stars climbing the ranks in GRC lights. Great progress in the sport since it debuted in the U.S. just 3 years ago. And boy, I can't wait to see what 2014 brings.
So what a podium. Ken Block, Tanner Faust, and Travis Pastrana are going to wind it up for us here at the finale in Vegas. Well, that's it for Global Rallycross from here at the SEMA show in Las Vegas. For continuing GRC coverage, log on to xgames.com. Global Rallycross apparel provided by Puma. Coming up next on ESPN2, ESPN FC. Well, that's it from here in Las Vegas, and a fantastic night we all had in Sin City. Huge congratulations to Ken Block for the win here tonight. He's our winner in the desert. For Jen Horsey, Alyssa Ronig, and Kate Osborne, I'm Tess Sewell saying thank you for joining us this year. That's it from Global Rallycross.